Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, Praise and gratitude be to Almighty God. Today, I will be giving a presentation about active listening skills. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Perdana Parlinto Aritona, class 332C07. My name number 33250109. And let's begin. To part 1, statement is true or false, from the audio of part 1. Number 1, Jenny Fowler introduced Net News as a monthly television program devoted exclusively to computer gaming. I think it's false. My correction is Jenny Fowler introduced Net News as a weekly radio program dealing with all matter online. Number 2, David Ackris works as a software engineer for a company called WebSafe. I think it's false. My correction is David Ackris is the head of an internet security company called WebBlog. Number 3, the interview mainly discusses social networking addiction and cyberbullying. I think it's false. My correction is the interview mainly discuss matters related to email, specifically spam and phishing. Number 4, Jenny says she received only 5 spam emails that morning. I think it's false. My correction is Jenny says she received about 30 to 40 spam emails that morning. Number 5, Jenny's spam emails mainly contain advertisements for computer hardware. I think it's false. My correction is Jenny's spam emails covered everything from having won the lottery to purchasing things she would rather not mention on the show. Number 6, David recommends using a single email account for both personal and professional purpose. It's false. My correction is David strongly recommends having separate personal and work email accounts. Number 7, David advised internet users to post their email address widely to increase only visibility. It's false. My correction is David advised users to be really guarded about where they leave their email address and not to leave them around the internet for everyone to find. Number 8, according to David, honest businesses are the primary collectors of an email address found online. It's false. My correction is, according to David, unscrupulous individuals harvest email address for their own personal gain or to sell to third parties. Number 9, David claims that email address can only be collected manually by human beings. It's false. My correction is David claims that email addresses are automatically collected by software programs called spiders. Number 10, David explains that software programs called crawlers search only provide website for an email address. It's false. My correction is David explains that software programs called spiders crawl around the internet looking for email address, including public message boards. Number 11, David suggests keeping all email accounts even if they are heavily targeted by spam. It's false. My correction is David recommends creating a new email account and starting over if a user's throwaway account is heavily targeted. Number 12, Jenny believes creating a new email account is a perfect solution for every listener. It's false. My correction is Jenny notes that creating a new email account may not be practical for all of her listeners. Number 13, David recommends sending complaints directly to every spammer. Spammer. It's false. My correction is David does not recommend complaining to spammers. Instead, he suggests using handy anti-spam tools and filters. Number 14. David states that internet service providers rarely offer spam protection. It's false. My correction is David states that internet service provider or ISPs will most likely have anti-spam filters active on all their users' accounts. Number 15. Spam filters generally analyze outgoing messages rather than incoming messages. It's false. My correction is spam filter software analyzes all incoming messages. Number 16. David says spam filters identify spam solely on the basis of message length. It's false. My correction is spam filters identify spam based on a variety of factors such as certain words, colored fonts, missing return address, and excessive capitalization. Number 17. Excessive capitalization is never considered an indicator of spam. It's false. My correction is excessive capitalization is considered one of the indicators of spam. And number 18. A missing return address makes an email appear more trustworthy. It's false. My correction is a missing return address is a quality that marks the email out to be spam in all likelihood. Number 19. Jenny worries that legitimate emails might accidentally be deleted by spam filters. I think it's true. And number 20. David says that any email written in blue text is automatically deleted. It's false. My correction is David says an email written in blue text will not be considered spam if the message is otherwise perfectly normal. Number 21. Spam filters usually classify a message as spam after detecting only one suspicious feature. It's false. My correction is spam filter will only flag a message as spam if several suspicious factors are found to be present. Number 22. You should have no control over the sensitivity settings of spam filters. It's false. My correction is users are often given control over the sensitivity level of their spam filters. Number 23. Margaret phones the program from New York. It's false. My correction is Margaret calls the program from Boston. Next, to number 24, Margaret wants to know whether antivirus software can block spam messages. It's false. My correction is Margaret wants to know whether anti-spam filters can help prevent her computer from being infected by a computer virus. Number 25. David states that most viruses originate from downloading music from the internet. Is false. My correction is David states that many users infect their PCs by opening attachments in emails. Number 26. David recommends opening unexpected attachments to check whether they are dangerous. It's false. My correction is David recommends not opening any attachment that arrive unexpectedly. Number 27. David advises computer users not to install antivirus software because modern operating systems are already secure enough. Is false. My correction is David advises users to always have an up-to-date antivirus program installed on their computers. Number 28. David explains that phishing is spelled with an F rather than a PH. It's false. My correction is David explains that this variety of phishing is spelled with a PH and not a F. The number 29, David says phishing as an accident online threat that has existed since the invention of email. Is false. My correction is David says phishing is quite a recent phenomenon. The last 30, David warns that users should never reply to emails requesting personal information such as account numbers, usernames, or passwords. I think it's true. Okay, everyone. Next to part 2, answer the following essay questions from the audio part 2. So, let's begin. Number 1. Why was Diego Garcia's victory in the French Open considered a significant achievement compared to his performance in the previous year? My answer is Diego Garcia's victory is highly significant because it represents a major comeback. Last year in Paris, he was knocked out in the very first round, whereas this year he has successfully advanced all the way to the semifinals. Number 2, what reason did Garcia give for his improved performance, and what does this suggest about the role of coaching in professional sports? My answer is Garcia credited his improved performance to having changed his coach last winter, which strongly suggests that a coaching adjustment can be a critical catalyst for a professional athlete's practical growth, mental reset, and competitive success. Number 3, based on the report, what can be inferred about Hans Gruler's performance despite losing the match? My answer is it can be inferred that Hans Gruler put up a highly competitive and resilient fight, and he did not suffer a quick defeat and managed to push the match to a demanding 4 sets before Garcia could overcome him. Number 4, why is this second semifinal match between Rod Langer and Brad Wilson particularly important? My answer is the second semifinal match is particularly important because it is an All-American showdown that will directly decide who earns the right to face Diego Garcia in the final. Number 5, explain how the report creates a sense of anticipation regarding the French Open final. My answer is the report boosts anticipation by framing Garcia as a resurgent contender who has completely thrown his fortunes around, and by setting up an immediate high-stakes battle between 2 Americans to determine his ultimate challengers. Number 6, analyze the significance of Gianfranco Baresi's victory in the 5th stage of the Tour de France. My answer is Gianfranco Baresi's victory is highly significant because it was achieved under grueling conditions requiring a long, steep mountain climb over a massive 184-mile course under a hot sun, allowing him to obviously assert his dominance as the riders entered the mountain stage. Number 7, what evidence suggests that Baresi is currently the strongest contender to win the Tour de France? My answer is to definitive evidence is that Baresi has managed to establish a commanding overall lead of over 6 minutes ahead of the rest of the field following his stage victory. Next, to number 8, the reporter states that it will take something special to take the yellow jersey off him. What does this statement imply about the current competition? My answer is this statement implies that Berisi is currently performing at an elite level so far above his rivals that standard tactic will not suffice. The competition is effectively desperate, and someone will have to deliver an extraordinary, flawless performance to dethrone him. Number 9. How did weather conditions affect the first day of the IBM Open in tennis? My answer is stormy weather severely disrupted the first day of the tournament, causing significant delays that prevented the players from taking off until around 2 in the afternoon. Number 10. Compare the performances of Mark Keppel, Mark McGonagall, and Chuck Connor during the first round of the tournament. My answer is while Mark Keppel delivered a super performance to lead the field 5 under par 67, Mark McGonagall and Chuck Connor both finished the round tied for second place, sitting 2 shots clear behind him. Number 11. Why was Ross Wirter's hole-in-one considered extraordinary? My answer is Ross Wirter's hole-in-one was extraordinary because it was entirely unintentional and miraculous. His initial shoot was incredibly wayward and headed toward a lake, only to accidentally deflect off a wooden post and be bounced directly onto the green and into the hole. Number 12. How does the description of Wirta's shots contribute to the dramatic effect of the sport report? My answer is the description enhances the dramatic effect by taking the listener on an emotional roller coaster, moving from Wirter's despair as he held his head in his hands to a miraculous physical deflection, and finally to a burst of pure excitement for the capacity court. Number 13. Explain how changing weather conditions influence the qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix. My answer is the qualifying session began at treacherous condition characterized by heavy rain and gusting winds, which initially favored one set of drivers, but as the racetrack gradually dried out later on, it allowed other drivers to exploit the increasing grip and alter the leaderboard. Number 14. Why was Gerd Kruger's achievement particularly impressive according to the report? My answer is Gerd Kruger's achievement was impressive because he successfully navigated the evolving track condition to secure pole position, proving he could master both the wet and drying surface for Ferrari. Next, to number 15, what can be inferred about Eddie Cochrane's performance during different stages of the qualifying session? My answer is it can be inferred that Eddie Cochrane excelled in extreme wet weather, as he was the early leader when the track was plagued by heavy rain and wind, but he ultimately could not maintain that advantage once the track dried out and the playing field leveled. Number 16. How does the report suggest that Gerd Kruger could strengthen his position in the World Championship standings? My answer is the report suggests that by starting from pole position, Kruger has placed himself in the ultimate vantage point to win tomorrow's race, which would effectively consolidate and extend his current lead in the World Championship standings. Number 17. Which baseball game appeared to be the most closely contested? Justify your answer using the scores provided. My answer is the game between the Chicago White Sox and Cleveland was the most closely contested, as evidenced by the tie final score of 4-3, which the reported notes cited a very close game compared to the larger point margin in the other matchups. Number 18. Which team demonstrated the most dominant performance in the baseball results? Explain your reasoning. My answer is the Milwaukee side demonstrated the most dominant performance because they completely overwhelmed Pittsburgh with a massive 10-2 victory, representing the largest margin of defeat, an 8-point gap mentioned in the baseball segment. Number 19. Compare how individual sports, tennis, golf, and motor racing, and team sport baseball are presented in the news reports. Major individual sports are presented with rich narrative storytelling that emphasizes personal drama, specific athletic obstacles like coach changes, wayward shots, or physical stamina, and individual rivalries against weather and terrain. In stark contrast, team sports are presented rapidly as a clinical compilation of final scores and point margins, focusing entirely on collective outcomes rather than individual player narratives. Next, to number 20, the last. Make a note. So, the main topic, I think a comprehensive summary of the evening sports news broadcast hosted by Larry Watson, covering the latest result, athlete performances, and the profound impact of external factors such as changing weather and strategic decisions across 4 individual sports: tennis, cycling, golf, and motor racing, and 1 team sport league, baseball. And detailed information for tennis French Open, Diego Garcia from Brazil advanced to the semifinals by defeating Switzerland's Hans Güler in 4 sets. Garcia attributed his career turnaround to a coaching change made last winter. The second semifinal will feature an All-American match-up between Rod Langer and Brad Wilson to decide Garcia's final opponent. For cycling, Tour de France, Gianfranco Baresi from Italy claimed third place in the grueling 5th stage, which featured a long, steep mountain climb spanning 184 miles under a scorching sun. This victory extended Baresi's overall lead to over 6 minutes, securing his position of the prestigious yellow jersey. So for the golf, IBM Open, severe stormy weather disrupted the opening day in tennis, delaying the start of play until 2 p.m. Mark Chappell from Australia, Aussie, led the field at 5 under par 67. The highlight of the day was an incredible hole-in-one by Canadian Ross Wirter on the 12th hole, achieved when his wayward shot miraculously deflected off a wooden post and bounced into the cup. For motor racing Japanese Grand Prix, the final qualification session in Tokyo took place under highly volatile weather conditions. Eddie Cochran for Jaguar led early during heavy rain and gusting winds, but Gert Kruger for Ferrari mastered the drawing track later on to capture pole position, putting him in an excellent spot to extend his world championship lead. For baseball, tonight's final score revealed a highly dominant win for Milwaukee over Pittsburgh, 10-2, an authoritative victory for Boston over the Yankees, 7-3, a tightly contested win for the Chicago White Sox against Cleveland, 4-3, a successful outing for Tampa Bay in Toronto, 8-5, and a clear victory for Houston over St. Louis, 4-1. So my conclusion from this audio, part 2, the sport run-up demonstrates that in individuals' sports subjective adjustment, like Garcia's coaching switch and unpredictable physical variables like shifting track, grip in racing, or dramatic wind deflection in golf, serve as the primary catalyst for dramatic human triumph. Conversely, team sports like baseball are formed purely through collective statistics and final point machines, shifting the narrative focus from individual drama to absolute organizational outcomes. Next to part 3, we'll tell a story from the audio part 3. So this may answer. The Nightingale, the Emperor of China, lives in a magnificent porcelain palace surrounded by a garden of beautiful flowers tied with silver bells. Beyond this garden lay a grand forest where a small, plain grey nightingale lived. Its song was so ordinarily beautiful that travelers from all over the world wrote books praising it. When the emperor read these accounts, he was astonished that he had never heard of this wonder in his own empire. He immediately ordered his court to find the bird. Led by a young kitchen maid, the court official located the humble bird in the forest. That evening, the nightingale performed at the palace. Its natural song was so moving that tears rolled down the emperor's cheeks. Deeply touched, the emperor offered his golden slipper as a reward, but the bird refused, saying the emperor's tears were the greatest reward. The nightingale was then kept at the court in the cage, allowed to fly only with servants holding silken strings attached to its leg. One day, the emperor received a gift, a mechanical bird covered in diamonds and rubies. When wound up, it sang a perfect waltz. The court tried to make them sing a duet, but the real bird sang naturally, while the artificial one only repeated sad tunes. While everyone was enchanted by the glittering new toy, the real nightingale quietly flew back to its forest. Consequently, the emperor banished it from the empire. The mechanical bird became the court's favorite, praised for its precise and flawless performance. However, a pure fisherman who truly loved the real bird's music remarked that while the artificial song sounded pretty, something essential was missing from its soul. Okay everyone, I think that's all enough for my presentation. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Thank you for your attention, and God bless you.